remarkable player. I personally think George Best is the greatest player that's ever played football.
You think?
I absolutely do. I would wonder, with all due respect, to Pele or to Cruyff or to Eusebio or to Diego Maradona, if they could have played in the conditions that George played in, on the pitches that George played in the international teams. Now, of course, Ronaldo did.
Yeah.
And Ronaldo is an argument to defeat the Best argument, but George Best was the most phenomenally gifted player that I think we've ever seen.
One
Enjoyment. It's like being in control of anything, you know, if you think you're the best at it, you know, whether it's acting or singing or whatever. It's nice to go out there knowing or feeling that you're better than anyone else.
George Best is often remembered as the first true rock star footballer, a man whose brilliance on the pitch was matched only by his charisma off it. At Manchester United, he was unstoppable, a winger who combined skill, speed, and swagger like nobody before him. But behind the magic was a darker story. Fame, alcohol, and personal struggles eventually consumed him, turning one of football's brightest talents into one of its most tragic tales. This is the sad story of George Best, how a legend became a tragedy.
Alberto Tomba going downhill, slating through the players. I've never seen balance like this. I think one or two of the players had two bites at him.
Maneuvering unbelievably. Best still has it. I don't believe this move.
It was anger. It was inspirational. It was a demonstration of everything George had compacted throughout his career into that playback instantly over time.
George Best was born in Belfast, Northern Ireland in 1946. From a young age, he stood out for his balance, dribbling, and vision. At just 15, he was spotted by Manchester United scout Bob Bishop, who famously wrote to United manager Matt Busby, "I think I've found you a genius." Best joined United's youth system, and by 17, he was making his first team debut. The world had no idea it was witnessing the arrival of one of football's most extraordinary players. By the mid-1960s, George Best was football's golden boy. In 1966, at only 19, he tore Benfica apart in the European Cup.
Incredible.
Here comes Best again. What a player this boy is. He's got another.
Don't obey orders, George. Do what you want to do. He was incredible.
This is going to be a rout.
They didn't get any bigger than Benfica. It was 90 minutes of almost perfection.
Earning the nickname El Beetle. It wasn't just his football. His long hair, good looks, and charm made him a cultural icon. Women adored him, tabloids chased him, and endorsements poured in. On the pitch, Best's peak came in 1968.
The net, something might go wrong.
A chance here for George Best. George Best is through. He goes round Enrique. He must score. George Best must score.
I was the first player that met him, that crashed into him when we obviously jumped up and down when he scored the second goal, because we knew that was the winner. We knew that was it.
When he led Manchester United to the European Cup, the club's first ever, he scored in the final against Benfica, won the Ballon d'Or the same year, and became the face of United's dominance. At just 22, he was at the top of the world, but success came with a cost. Best was not just a footballer, he was a celebrity in an era before players had media training or protective teams around them. He lived the lifestyle of a pop star, nightclubs, parties, women, and crucially, alcohol. He once famously said, "I spent a lot of money on booze, birds, and fast cars. The rest, I just squandered."
He didn't know where to go. He was lost. He really was lost. A few of his friends were concerned that he might have done something terrible. We were concerned for him, yes.
What started as fun quickly became dependency. By the early 1970s, his training discipline suffered, and his relationship with Manchester United began to crumble. As United declined after the Busby era, so did Best. He often missed training, showed up late for games, and clashed with managers. Despite his genius, his off-field lifestyle overshadowed his performances. In 1974, at just 27 years old, an age when most players peak, George Best walked away from Manchester United. For fans, it was unthinkable. The boy wonder who had carried their club to glory was gone, not because his talent disappeared, but because he couldn't escape his demons. After leaving United, Best bounced around clubs in England, Scotland, Ireland, the US, and even Australia. He had flashes of brilliance, moments that reminded people of his genius, but they were rare. His fitness, discipline, and focus were long gone. In America, playing for the Los Angeles Aztecs and other NASL sides, he became a cult figure, but the drinking never stopped. Journalists described him as a shadow of his former self, a man trapped by the weight of his past. Away from football, Best's personal life was equally turbulent. He married twice, had relationships splashed across tabloids, and often became the punchline for jokes about his drinking. Despite repeated attempts at recovery, including hospital stays and rehab programs, he couldn't break free from alcohol. In interviews, Best was painfully honest about his addiction. He once said, "They'll forget all the goals, the great moments. All they'll remember is that I was an alcoholic." For a man once celebrated as football's first global superstar, it was a heartbreaking reality. By the 1990s, Best's health was in rapid decline.
The doctors that one more drink could kill him. The press tracked him down to a Surrey pub, and he fell off the wagon.
It's one of the saddest things George ever told me. After he hadn't drank, I think it was about 3 years, and he'd started again, and we were sitting down, and I said, "What happened, George?" He said, "You know what?" He said, "There's not one day in the last 3 years that I haven't thought about drinking," which I found really sad because I thought he was doing so well.
His liver was failing, and in 2002, he underwent a transplant. Doctors begged him to stop drinking, but the addiction was too strong. In 2005, George Best was admitted to hospital for the final time. On November 25th, he passed away at the age of 59. His last public message, "Don't die like me." It was a chilling warning from a man who had once seemed larger than life. George Best's story is both inspirational and tragic. On the one hand, he was a genius, the kind of player who comes once in a lifetime. Sir Alex Ferguson once said that every United team he built was chasing the ghost of George Best. On the other hand, his story is a cautionary tale of fame, excess, and addiction. He changed how we saw footballers, not just as athletes, but as celebrities. He paved the way for the modern football superstar, but he also showed the dangers of that lifestyle when it spins out of control. But guys, what do you think? Should George Best be remembered more for his football or for the tragedy of what he became? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more football deep dives like this.